So the camera kind of cut out there. What I was saying is you want to practice at least some sort of basic first aid training, just so you have a very, at least general basic idea of what to do if somebody gets a gash in their arm or breaks their leg. They're not just sitting there screaming in pain and you're just kind of watching. Um, anything can help you out. Books, the internet is perfect for anybody with internet access. Excuse me. I have another canteen case here on the side. I don't have another canteen in here. I only have the one. I use it to house my roll of duct tape. I carry an entire roll because I use it all the time for a lot of different stuff. It's good to have an entire roll. If you want to just carry, 8 feet wrapped around a credit card or just kind of layered up on itself, be my guest. That's just what I personally need, what I use it for. I use it a lot. Again, carry what you need. You don't want to carry too much. It is a decent amount of excess weight. I lucked out with having the spare canteen case. My cousin gave it to me, actually. This has the 2 side pouches on it as well. I don't have anything in there for the moment. If I do ever put a canteen in there, I'll probably put in like water purification tablets and maybe an extra thing of matches or something on the side. You can never have too much of either of those. I will always endorse having extra things to make fire, extra things to purify water. You're going to see a lot of those redundancies in my own pack. So digging in more in the side pocket here. If I carried a tent, that's probably where I would end up stashing it, is in one of the side pockets. Currently, I'm with nice weather coming out, I like sleeping out under the stars. If any inclement weather does come around, I usually just throw up the tarp for a nice cover shelter. It's if you do know of any like under $50 like hiking hammocks, send me a name or a link. Again, that's something I would love to look at. I am in the market for. If you and you're also going to notice that I don't have a bedroll or anything here right now. I'm looking to get a wool blanket. I've seen a lot of videos on those. They've swayed me. I think that's probably what I'm going to end up going for. I currently have a like a sleeper cell. What do you call them? Like a cocoon. It's good for like negative 30 degrees. It's perfect for any kind of polar bear camping I would do out here, but it's way too much for any kind of summer camping where I might just want a little layer. Wool blanket, I think, is what I'm going to end up going for. So that's why I don't have anything like that on my pack right now. Moving into that side pocket, like I said, got 2 chem lights, glow sticks, light sticks, whatever you want to call them. They're phenomenal to have. I only have the 2. They're a blue and a green. I would not suggest carrying more than that if you have multiple light sources already. That's just a little too redundant for my taste. Again, it's up to you guys. You're making your own packs. Have at it. I just have a couple of Colemans right there, and hopefully you can see those. And I also didn't want too many because if for whatever reason they get hit and they crack themselves in my bag, I'm going to open that up, find a useless chem light. I'm going to be kind of mad. And it's just kind of pointless to have such a wasted expense, because those things can get kind of pricey depending on the type you get and the size you get. I've seen the really fancy ones that are just a tube that glow for like 2 days or something like that, or like 16 hours. I can't remember what it was. It was like 20 bucks a pop. So also in here, I have my Bear Grylls. I think this is the ultimate survival knife. I cannot speak highly enough of this knife. Hopefully you guys can see it there. I love this thing. I've had it for a little over a year. It can do anything and everything I want it to. It's got awesome grips. I love that. It does not slip in the rain or in snow. You can hold it. It's big enough to where if you're a bigger guy, it's not too small that where your fingers are like smashing into your hand. It's a good solid grip, but it's also not too big if you do have small hands. Really versatile for everybody. Nice integrated thumb grips right there. Really nice serrations, really easy to keep upkeep on those, and a nice about 2-inch length or so of just a regular blade going up to the point. uber sharp. You could shave with that. I make sure to keep it sharp. Um, it has the holes for lashings to make a spear out of it. Um, it comes with the built-in fire steel, and it works very well. There's a place in the back of the blade to strike it off with right there. Um, Works incredibly well, and one of the biggest bonuses is it has its own built-in sharpener. Um, Really well thought out blade. I really like it. I know a couple of people who use them for a lot rougher stuff than I do, and they can't get enough of it. They absolutely love it. And it also has the solid metal end for pounding, hammering. If you really wanted to, you could kind of hold it like that, just lightly use it as like a miniature mallet. And it also has your basic survival stuff in the back, along with the little guide they give you in every Bear Grylls knife, or at least every knife I've ever bought from them. Um, they they really did good on this one. And then you go to the classic standard issue U.S. Marine Corps K-bar. Just recently got this after doing some research on them. I originally wasn't going to get another like medium to big knife because I already have the kukri and I already have my Gerber. This would be like my leg knife, like a boot knife, like what you'd see in like World War II or Vietnam, where they would have it strapped to their leg. Um, if I strapped anything to like a vest or my pack, you know, like the downward draw, it would probably be my Bear Grylls, just because it's got the uh, multiple styles of loops on the back for connecting it to packs and belts and such. Um, this is a really nice knife though, really sharp. This would be a fighting knife for me. I wouldn't want to dull the blade on anything but, you know, defense, maybe skinning an animal. I know people prefer something a little smaller, maybe something with a little curve in it. Um, this is a really solid knife though. I'd even just use it for shaving. Super sharp, takes the hair right off your hand. They still are a really trusted knife. I love this thing. I'm really glad that I invested in it. If you don't have one, I would suggest looking into it. They have a lot of different style sheaths. I don't have anything like those, but they have like Kydex sheaths, the hard plastic ones. Some of them look pretty sharp, really nice looking. So, moving on, I have my collapsible folding saw. This is just cheapo I got from our Central Tractor. It gets the job done, but I mean, if it breaks, I'm not going to be brokenhearted. It just gives me an excuse to buy something a little better. Um, but it's better than nothing, you know. And all right, getting into these, some of you might think this is kind of silly. I thought it was kind of a bright idea. I am a knife enthusiast. I really like throwing knives. I used to do it for sport. Still do it for sport. I don't compete or anything, so you know, don't ask how many first place trophies you have. It's none. I never competed, you know, for competition like that. But I have two different styles here. The bigger ones I would use for actual, you know, throwing purposes, either for sport or for defense if I absolutely have to. Even really solid blades. I picked them up at just some store. You can probably find something exactly like this online for like $10, like 15 overall for shipping. Something silly cheap like that. Really nice points on them though. But the reason why I have multiples of these is because I would use them as spear points. They are, other than, you know, just being fun, you can lash those to a stick of any sorts really, and the smaller ones are a little better, a little more suited to be a spear point. But really good idea, I thought. I don't think I've seen anyone else use that. So, you know, you like new ideas, innovative ideas, check out some throwing knives. Maybe something a little more like this, where you have multiple holes going down through the handle. It'd be a little easier to lash together. But definitely a good idea that I thought worked quite well. And that's it for that one. So moving over to the other side pocket, we're going to have my stainless steel water bottle. I got it at Kmart for like $6. Again, kind of redundant since I have the metal canteen. People are going to be yelling at me, well, you already have something to boil water with. Well, guess what? I have another thing in here, part of my meths kit. I would just use this as water, more water transporting water. You can use it to filter water, whatever. It's just a nice solid piece. You could whack somebody up the head if you absolutely had to with it. It's a really nice piece. I would definitely recommend a stainless steel water bottle, along with a plastic one. Along with the water bottles, I also have a 2-liter Camelback I keep in that back reservoir of my pack. I don't keep water continuously in them. If I am planning for a camping trip, I'll go through and fill them. It just helps keep them from getting gross and slimy. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to cleaning those things, so well, more or less just forgetful. So that way I don't get a mouthful of gross, slimy, bacteria-filled water. I just leave it empty when I'm not using it. I also have 100 feet of 550 paracord. It's one of the C's. You always need cordage. 550 is the way to go, I think. Definitely one of the best, all-around, more useful types of cordage. On it, I've just got a simple beaner, not a climbing beaner or anything special like that. It says safe working load 150 pounds. So if I really need to, I could probably use it to hang my pack up in a tree. That's actually something I probably should invest in, or some climbing beaners, maybe just 2 or 3 of them, just for whatever, you never know. That's one of the things I definitely live by, that stuck from Boy Scouts, is be prepared. That's why I carry probably a little more than most people would want to, but that's just my preference. Along that, I also have more flint and steel, more fire tinder, and my old Boy Scout knife, trusty, still sharp. Comes with a can opener and a pick, and a bottle opener. Really, really solid beginner's knife. I got this thing when I was, I think, 6, when I first started Cub Scouts, and it's stayed with me since. So it's got some nicks and dings and love and wear on it, but definitely a really solid knife. Definitely want to have cordage. I know people who carry a lot more than this. I know people who don't carry much more than maybe 25 feet. I go with 100. Safe number, kind of right in the middle of everything. It's more than enough for most, and maybe not quite enough for something else, but it's always been enough for what I need it for. Strong, durable. It's good stuff. I also have a package of zip ties. I'm constantly using zip ties to either fasten spare last-minute stuff to my pack, holding stuff together, holding gear together. I use it to hold one of those big white, I don't know if you call it a party tent or not, but 2 of the bungees broke, so we just used a bunch of zip ties to kind of hold it down. They're fantastic for anything and everything. If you're in a survival situation, you can use it to help rig up shelter. If you're in an apocalypse situation, you can use them and double them as handcuffs. I worked as a security officer for a while, so I've still got my handcuffs, my mace, and my badge, which in any kind of apocalypse situation I probably would be carrying. To have the mace and handcuffs probably right on my pistol belt. Maybe keep the badge just in case, you don't want to go around flashing that around. But the mace and handcuffs definitely would come in handy for any kind of emergency situation like that. Where are these? 8-inch cable ties. You can get the bigger ones. I have rarely ever needed one bigger than 8 inches, but you never know. Yeah. And that's it for the side pouches. Going into the front pouches, we'll do the top one first. How am I on time? We have a life straw. Just stick this ass end in the water, and you just drink through it like a straw. It's got a little lanyard on it, so you can wrap it around your neck if you want to keep it close. Any kind of water filter system is going to be good. You're going to want at least 1, if not 2 different types of water filtration. I use a life straw, or just a water filtration straw, and water purification tablets. Granted, if I'm drinking water from around here, if it's from the river, I can just go straight down to the river and drink from it. I grew up around here. That water's not going to affect me in the slightest. Do not do that if you are traveling in an area outside of your own if you've never done it before. It can really mess up your insides. It can make you sick, give you dysentery, give you the runs. It really, really can mess you up. I can only do that here because I grew up here, and I can only do it in a place in Ohio where I lived here 50-50. And both places, I know for a fact I can just drink the water and be okay. I've done it for years. If anything, that's why I'm so freakishly large. So we have multiple water filtration systems in my pack. Get something. You don't have to get one of those big fancy pumps. You can if you have the space, or don't mind the weight. But that's all I bother carrying. I have a little mesh bag, just a little catch-all for everything. Just you could use it for fishing, anything. A lot of the things I have in my pack, I try to keep in there for dual purposes. If something doesn't have a dual purpose, I really have to make myself want it. Otherwise, I'm just going to be like, nah, it's not necessary. It's just extra weight. Get rid of it. So, spare bandana. I forgot to go over that in my EDC mentions. I carry one in my back pocket. Excuse me. I use them just as I'm old school. I use them as a handkerchief, but you can use them to cover your face, cover your neck, wet them down if it's hot, help filter water if you have dirt and sand that you can kind of pile in there and trickle your water through it. Again, these are all ideas. If you want to see a particular video, leave it in the comments, and I'll do a general consensus of maybe like the top 5, top 10 ideas that I see, and because I really want to get a bunch of videos done and out of the way now that the weather's getting nice, before I end up moving, because I am actually moving to a city, but that'll be kind of fun because then I can do some of these videos again, but from the city aspect, and show you how I changed some of my loadouts. In this front pouch here, I've got a couple of containers of super glue. Super glue is really, really nice. You can use it for sealing small cuts, fixing stuff, just overall really, really handy. I am going to kind of try and fly through this stuff, so if you guys want more of a longer mention on something, or more of a review, or more of a how-to, or a need-to-know kind of thing, again, leave it in the comments. I'll do more informational videos, I promise. I have some Velcro tabs just to help maybe keep gear together. If you need to, I mean, anything. I have it because I had a mounted camera. I just had like Velcro on the back of it, so I could just stick it up somewhere and then access it remotely. Small sewing kit, repair kit. I have another one of these in my first aid kit as well. This is more of a patch kit. It's got safety pins, buttons, some larger pieces of fabric. Just help keep your gear in order. And that's it for that top pouch. And getting into this bottom one, I have a lot in here. This would go on my belt. It is just kind of a emergency kit in itself. It has a couple of extra spare pocket knives, a lot of different ways to start fire. I don't like keeping all my fire starting methods in one spot, just in case, heaven forbid, you lose it. You need something a little with a more quick access. Something kind of in every pouch should have some sort of fire starting method. If I don't, I'm actually going to fix that after this video. But this contains, this little thing is actually a watertight case, airtight case filled with magnesium shavings. Really, really good fire starter. Starts in the water. It burns really, really hot. Great tinder. I have multiple cubes of the wet fire in here. I have a knife sharpener, 2 extra pocket knives, a razor blade, and waterproof matches. A lot of stuff in there. That would be, if I need to help a friend out, give them a knife to use. I keep every knife very, very sharp. Every knife is, I could hand it off and it'd be like brand new. I take care of my gear, oil them, sharpen them, use a leather strap just to kind of get rid of any nicks and burrs and stuff in them. And let's see, in the front I've got a couple of just cheap books of matches, so if it did get wet, those get ruined, but they're not my first line of fire starting. Those are like an extreme emergency in case everything does somehow stay dry. I've got an extra pack of gum and a Ziploc baggie in there as well. You'll notice a lot of my stuff is either in Ziplocs or dry sacks. I live in a climate where it is wet 70% of the year, and you need to make sure that you keep your gear ready to go. If stuff gets wet that's not supposed to get wet, you're thoroughly fucked. It could make or break you in any kind of survival situation. I've actually had a couple of situations before while camping where people just had nothing to make fire. I actually walked up on their camp, this was a couple of years ago, and I had been pouring the night before. Their shelter was destroyed, they were just shaking, just all around miserable. I stopped and helped them get a fire going, helped them rebuild their shelter. I mean, morale is definitely one of the biggest things about camping, and if you don't know what you're doing, your morale is just going to drop. Survival is definitely, 50% morale, 50% know-how. A very small poncho will not cover my pack if it's raining. It will cover me, though, and it's not really big enough to make a shelter out of, so I have been keeping my eyes out for a larger poncho. Regular grocery sacks, you can use these to keep gear dry, transport water, transport extra items. Again, all around multiple uses. If I don't explain something too thoroughly, get imaginative. I mean, I have multiple reasons for just about everything in this pack. I have a wad of Ziploc bags, just in case, for food, for travel, for keeping gear dry, for storing water, anything and everything. In this little top pouch here, I've got two of these really old school metal film canisters. There's nothing in them right now. I use them for just assorted stuff whenever I come across it. Sometimes it holds coins. Sometimes it holds, at one point they held my spices, but I changed that out. I really liked them. They're really useful, so I kept them in there. They're light. They weigh nothing. It's not a bad thing to have. Let's see. Electrical tape. I've got a roll of electrical tape. You can always use more tape. Something maybe a little smaller if you don't need a huge roll of duct tape. I've actually got two miniature pulleys as well that I use for when I rig up my pack. They've come in handy, especially with such a heavy pack, or if you're trying to lift like a cooler or something, if you're doing like a kayak camping or something like that where you have a lot more gear. Definitely come in handy. Paracord fits perfectly inside of there, roll smooth. You can get those probably at any hardware store. Definitely recommend getting at least one or two of those. Face paint, but I have that. Also because it's got the mirror inside, you can use it as a signal mirror. I don't really bother with those. I've never been lost. And you can tell I've never even been in that face paint, so it's just kind of in there for, shits and giggles, just in case. Another like 5 or 6 books of matches, again, redundancy. Little container of Vaseline, 100% petroleum jelly. Make sure it's 100%. Great for fire starting. Again, this is for, I have this because we live in a very, very cold weather climate. If the wind's blowing and you don't have anything to cover your face with, or even if you do, put a light layer of Vaseline on like your nose, just under your eyes. Helps keep everything from getting cracked and chapped. That really sucks when your face is just blistering. It's a really shitty day. Moving on. Got a little extra cordage there, maybe about 20 feet. It's just for anything and everything. I just keep it because that was the excess of when I made all my bracelets and stuff. It's just good to have a little extra. Then I have jute twine. Jute twine's great if you're just making a quick, like stick shelter or something that if you can't readily tear it down, you're not losing valuable resources. It's also very, very, very good tinder if you pull it apart. Lights instantly with a spark. Also in here is my emergency blanket. Never had to use one of these. The only time I've ever seen one used was when I was polar bear camping. Someone had it set up in their tent, reflecting back down to help keep the heat, but I had a minus 30-degree sleeping bag, so I didn't bother. Again, it's an emergency blanket, there for emergencies. Just nice to have. In here we have a really, really cheapo monocular. Doesn't zoom in much more than maybe like a 2 power. I got it way back in the day, I think from a zoo. Um, but it's nice to have. It's handy just for quick scouting. It's quick access. Um, I also have my compass in there. Really nice Lysonic compass. Learn how to use it. If you don't, it's not going to be any use to you. Again, learn your surroundings. If you know your surroundings, you probably won't even need a compass. Um, Depending on where you are, it's more or less just to help keep you heading in the right direction. If you do end up getting lost, bike tire tube. I don't really need this much right now, and I need to get rid of that stupid valve. I just put this in here not too long ago as a replacement for my old one. If you cut off a chunk of that, you get a decent Ranger band. Holds everything and anything, and if you do it right, you can actually make like a pocket that's completely waterproof. Really handy. And I'm gonna have to cut it off here and go into part 3. Cut it.
Oh.
We'll just start another one.